Texas Republican Congressman Roger Williams on how that battle ensues. Congressman, I know you've got a lot to worry about in your own state, so I know you're fixated on that, as you should be. But the feeling seems to be that because of what's happening in your state, because of the unique camaraderie and bipartisanship that's been shown, it is actually going to improve the odds for getting something done on tax cuts. Do you buy that?
Well, I think so. I mean, look, at people are joining together like we haven't seen in a long time. But I do think that we need to focus from a disaster standpoint. We need to focus on a clean, what I call a down payment, get back to Washington and begin to get money going through this so people can begin to rebuild. And then talk about tax reform. I've been talking about it a long time, and I just think that Main Street America, I'm still a business owner, is waiting for this drastically. I mean, we see what happens when you just talk about it. What would happen if we actually do something? So I think it's made people more flexible as far as how they think, and we'll just see what happens when we get back.
Congressman, you were mentioning that we need a clean, I assume you were talking to a clean, rescue bill. The president's talked about something between $5.5 to $6 billion. Many argue in your state that that would be a down payment. Your governor, Governor Abbott, has said that damages could be well in excess of $130 billion, maybe more. But you want it clean. By that, you don't want a lot of add-ons or what the so-called Christmas tree decoration effect, right, where they pile on additional spending. That was something that was bemoaned during Sandy when there was a lot of pile-on besides relief for Sandy victims.
Well, I think exactly right, Neil. I mean, let's get a down payment of whatever number it is, because we don't have a clue how much this is going to cost yet. Let's don't make it political. Let's begin to get some cash flow going in the disaster area. And what I mean by that, let's don't put debt ceiling. Let's don't tie the debt ceiling to this, for example. Let's not make it political. Let's do what we need to do, and then get back to what do you mean by that?
Now, the president has already said or thrown out there as a possibility tying a debt ceiling increase to aid for Texas victims. Now, the issue doesn't seem whether such a measure would pass, a Texas relief bill. So why attach it to the debt ceiling at all?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think whatever we come up with, the down payment's going to pass. There's a lot of debate, though, on the debt ceiling. I'm one of those that just thinks we're going to have to get serious about our debt, and we need to have some debate on it. And to tie that in, I think, makes it very political, and I think it would be the wrong thing to do.
So you're for a clean debt ceiling increase. You don't like having to do it, but since it addresses spending that happened prior and you have to pay the bills, increase it, don't attach provisos to it.
Well, don't attach provisos, but on the debt ceiling, I have not voted for the debt ceiling in the past. I think we need to take a look at cutting expenses, not borrowing more on the debt. So that's the whole separate debate. But let's get a clean down payment of money to begin to rebuild this tragedy we've had in Texas and Louisiana, and not make it political.
You know, Congressman, it's interesting. I know you are very conservative when it comes to these fiscal matters and saying maybe there is a way to attach to the ceiling something that would avoid bumping into this sort of thing again and again. Others agree with you. But I cannot envision a government shutdown now, even on principal causes, depending on your point of view. I just don't see it. Do you?
Well, look, nobody wants to shut the government down. I mean, that's not an issue. But I'm just saying, Neil, at some point in time, we've got to address this debt. It's serious. A lot of people don't want to address it. We need to be able to actually cut expenses rather than borrow. So, look, that's what I'm getting at is let's have a clean bill and let's get this funding going to the victims, and then see where we go from there on debate.
Congress, real quickly, Stuart Marney talked to Gary Cohn at the White House about that tax package, and we found out a little bit more about what's in it. Not much relief for the upper income, which was kind of telegraphed, but kind of confirmed today. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, I've been talking about tax reform since I've been in Congress since 2012, and I think I'd like to see it more broad-based. I mean, I'd like to see, I've been talking about a 20% corporate tax across the board. But look, anything we do is going to relieve Main Street of a lot of pressure. I want to get back where we can take risk and reward again in this country. We haven't been able to do that since 2008, having these high tax rates. So I think whatever we come up with is going to be good, but I do want it to be thought through that's broad-based. The more opportunity people have to, frankly, make money, the more opportunity they have to spend it, the more opportunity they have to create a business and put people to work. So I'm excited about what the president's trying to do. I agree with him on just about all of it. I'd like for it to be more broad-based, but we'll see what we come up with.
Congressman, thank you for taking the time.